he's going to go through those stages. And so that was sort of during the Cultural Revolution or after the Chinese invade in Tibet. And then the third one, actually talking about the artists in exile. And so I was sort of trying to make the setting more like, looks like a dharamsala in various sort of shabby refugee camp. And then the fourth one is talking about the artist probably being somewhere in the West. Probably you can see very sort of contemporary in a minimalism space, and then the artist was doing something, the picture, which is much more himself, because if you look back the other three, I think the artist most of the time actually it's not doing something really for himself. It's he's becoming more sort of more servant. Oops. Here you are. The second one, he was doing a Mao's poetry, and then the first one, of course, devoted to Buddhism. Then the third one is in Dharamsala. Actually, this is the painting I really did in Dharamsala. It's a sort of commission from one of the Tibetan group. They wanted me to do something like this. And so that's also, I mean, the artists are really serving the political purpose. So probably really the final one, the artists are really got time to express himself. So that's really the sort of my introduction of myself. And then of course, after 2004, then I started working with sort of different material, which is called stickers and lots of paper card. Then basically what I really want to do is so try to make my work in a much more broader sense, because quite often I think the danger being a Tibetan artist is when you say you are Tibetan plus when you say you are a Tibetan artist, then people always will be put you in a box. That's something I don't really want, and so therefore I sort of try to make my work a much more sort of broader sense. When I say broad, I mean I want to make it more accessible for people even doesn't know anything about Tibet. And also I think it's something to do with my environment, because I live in London, and as everybody knows, as London is one of the sort of one of the various sort of diversity city, and you do come across lots of different cultures and lots of problems and lots of different nationalities and lots of cultural influence, and that's something I really want to express into my work. Then, of course, the question you might ask why I'm keeping the Buddha figure. I think somehow I worked with this figure since late 80s, after I finished my study from Beijing, and then I really had a quite long relationship with this figure. Then there is also, I think, a relationship which is not very sort of stable, because I remember when I first when I first used that image, actually I have a very difficult, I have a sort of, emotionally I have a very difficult feeling with that image, and So I think in the early 90s, when I was in Tibet, I'm trying to sort of deconstruct the image, because at that time my view was because the Buddhism we lost country, and so there is a sort of hatred feeling towards the Buddha figure. And then, of course, after I moved to Dharamsala, and in Dharamsala, then I got really the first-hand opportunity to learn Tibetan contemporary history, and also it was the first time I really sort of did a serious study of Tibetan Buddhism. And also, it was the first time I came across with Tanka, and also I did a nearly 3 years Tanka study. And so that's something really changed my view to see the Buddha image. And then, of course, after that, I think all my Buddha in Dharamsala is much more spiritual and much more peaceful, and especially I think since I learned the measurement of the Buddha, I saw that was the one of the probably the perfect form, and a very sort of peaceful, but at the same time it's Buddha. I think it's one of the sort of iconic design for humankind. I mean, everybody will recognize that image. And so yes, all those reasons, and so my Buddha changed. Then, of course, after I went to London, that image also changed again, which is what you are seeing now.